Welcome to Lectio Concordia for Friday. We are working our way towards the seventh Sunday after Epiphany, and we're going to be looking at Psalm 119, verses 97 through 104 in the Legacy Standard Bible, a fairly new translation, and that's built around, if I recall, the New American Standard Bible. And then we're going to have a reading from... You want to say it?
No, you say it.
We're going to have a reading from Exodus. And then we're going to have another reading from the Small Catechism from Luther's teachings about the Ten Commandments. So let's begin with a word of prayer, and then I'll bring you Psalm 119 from the Legacy Standard Bible. O Lord, deliver us from love of self so that we may seek to love you with a whole heart and mind, and with what strength you give us, be of service to our neighbor. Amen. Oh, how I love your law. It is my meditation all the day. Your commandments make me wiser than my enemies. They are mine forever. Well, what's the enemies or the commandments? I think they mean the commandments.
Yes.
They are mine forever. I have more insight than all my teachers. For your testimonies are my meditation. I perceive more than the aged, because I have observed your precepts. I have restrained my feet from every evil way, that I may keep your word. I have not turned aside from your judgments, for you yourself have taught me. How sweet is your word to my mouth, sweeter than honey in my mouth. From your precepts I get perception. Now that line I like. Precepts, perception. From your precepts I get perception. Therefore I hate every false way. For they are with me forever. They are mine forever.
Okay. Interesting. And that which translation was that again?
The Legacy Standard. And now I'm turning to
Exodus. Sorry.
Nice long reading.
Okay.
First 11 verses.
Starting in chapter 20. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work. You or your son or your daughter, your male servant or your female servant or your livestock, or the sojourner who is within your gates. For in the 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy.
Mm-hmm. And tomorrow we'll have a reading from the rest of that pertains to the second table of the law, the second of the two tables, our theme this week, that deals with our neighbor. You shall have no other gods. You shall not make a carved image. You shall not take the name of the Lord. It puts the focus on there, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You shall not make for yourself a carved image. So it's, or even a likeness. Well, of what? Of anything that's in the heaven above, or that's in the earth beneath, or even in the water. So you don't make a carved image of a fish, of a snake, of a cow, of another human being. You don't make a carved image. Well, you mean I can't do artwork? You mean I can't make a statue of them pretty porpoises I see out in the ocean? That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about making a carved image, an icon, something that you worship. You shall not make an idol that you worship from any of these sources. Human beings, things that roam the earth, things that swim in the ocean. Nope.
He's quantifying it in the second and third verse. I am the Lord your God. Almost put a period, but there's no period. Who brought you out of the house of slavery, out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall not have any. You shall have no other gods before me. Right? That's what they used to do.
You have no other gods besides me.
Yep.
I'm it. I be him. Well, we have more from the Small Catechism on the Ten Commandments, and we are the fourth and the fifth and the sixth and the seventh. No, just the fourth and the fifth commandments today. So let's do it the same way. The fourth commandment says, honor your father and your mother, that it may go well with you, and that you may live long upon the earth. So what does that mean?
We should fear and love God so that we do not despise or anger our parents and masters, but give them honor, serve, obey, and hold them in love and esteem.
Seems pretty straightforward. That's what God expects of us. And our parents, and in some ways also, we wouldn't say masters, but our bosses, our employers, these are the closest human beings to God that we have. They're the closest authority that we have. Your parents are entrusted with authority over you by God. He's the one that gives them that authority. They don't have the authority just because they had sex and bore you. They have authority over you, for you, by God's hand. So that's why we should honor them. That's why it will go well with us if we do. So the fifth commandment says, you shall not kill. Now, what does that mean?
We should fear and love God so that we do not hurt or harm our neighbor in his body, but help and befriend him in every bodily need.
Yeah. So I always want to go, you shall not murder, because that's pretty much what it's talking about. You shall not kill, but that, to Luther at least, didn't mean that you wipe them off the face of the earth. It means that you harm them in any way. Do you drag down their character? Do you do you say nasty things about them? Do you egg their house? Do you, I mean, I don't want to give you ideas out there or anything, but these are ways that we harm or hurt our neighbor. This is killing your neighbor, according to the Small Catechism. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Matthew 22, verses 37, 38, and 39.
That was perfect. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. The second is like it. And the second is like it.
And a second, yeah.
Yeah. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Matthew 22, 37 through 39.
Perfect. Yep. Yep. So, if we can just keep it tomorrow and the next day, and then all our days,
We'll
be
do all
doing
right.
all right. Yeah.
We'll be doing excellent.
I'm getting ready to, I can just feel it coming on. I'm getting ready to preach a whole series in the second book of the Bible called Excellence in Exodus. and I dare you again, if you know where that comes from, that allusion, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
Tell people what idiots we are here at Lectio Concordia. Maybe they'll watch along with you. May you honor God's name and his day, and be of humble service to your neighbor, because the Lord alone is your God. Thanks for being with us today for Readings in Harmony, Lectio Concordia. We hope to be back with you again tomorrow.